Okay, so what what do I mean by being the guy that girls break rules for? So I'm gonna tell you, because the other side of the coin isn't so grand. So being the guy that girls make rules for is the alternative. And I've been both. I've been the guy girls make rules for, and then the guy girls break rules for. And it is much better to be the latter than the former. So usually the people that fall into the category of the guy that girls make rules for is usually nice guys, people that end up in the friend zone, things of that nature. So if you're in that camp, you need to find a way to get out of that. And the way to get out of that is to be the person that girls are willing to break rules for. And so let's focus on the positive, right? So being the guy that girls break rules for. A lot of girls, what they'll do is, as a litmus test, they'll say X, Y, Z. I don't like someone that does this. I don't like this. I don't like that. They give you all the the cons, right? But if indeed this is who you are, you shouldn't shy away from it. So if you don't like sushi, don't say that you like it because she likes it. That's ridiculous. And that's what a lot of dudes do. They fold under the pressure because they don't want to feel like they don't want to feel as if they might lose an opportunity if they say the wrong thing. And that's already the wrong way to go about trying to meet somebody. In fact, I think you should double down on everything, right? Be completely yourself from the very first second. Because think about it like this: most people decide within the first few seconds if they like someone or not, if they're even remotely interested. It only takes a few seconds. There's nothing, and no one can tell me any different, right? You either recognize it right away, or it takes you 3 months to figure it out, or it takes you 9 months to figure it out. But no matter what, you'll always know from the very beginning whether you like someone or not. And so it shouldn't take that long. Anyhow, the thing is, if you double down and are you completely yourself, you will be able to weed out many more candidates that way. So just by default, I think women respect a man who is himself, even if they don't like it, even if they don't agree with it. Because there's something about that, right? There's something attractive about having about being able to be yourself. There's something vulnerable about being completely yourself and not expecting anything in return for it or from it, right? It's not a performance. I think that's the first thing you need to understand. If you want to be the guy girls will break rules for, okay? And then the other thing is you need to understand that it's difficult to be yourself. It absolutely is. It's scary, but it's really the only way to live as a man is to be yourself. And whatever that is, however that manifests itself, I don't know if there's a one way to go about finding out your archetype. All right, because at the end of the day, you need to test out what works for you. Um, and the best way to sort of figure out if what you're doing or the way you're conducting yourself is correct is the way that you're seen and sort of the way women perceive you. So if you're constantly getting rejected, or you're constantly being thrown in the friend zone, or you're the one girls make rules for, there's something about you that's off. I don't know what it is, but you got to figure it out. So I can tell you from my experience, for me, I think when I used to be the guy girls used to make rules for was because I didn't stand on my ground. I didn't have a foundation. Um, I was a, I was cowering. I was scared. I was afraid. I operated from a deficit perspective, and took me a long time to figure that out and to not fall into that. Right, that whole nice guy thing, thinking that that's like a sneaky game tactic that's gonna get you something. Um, so once I figured that that wasn't working for me, I realized like I should just be myself, and to hell with the consequences of that, right? If that means that not every girl's gonna like me, then not every girl's gonna like me, but you gotta be okay with that. You gotta stick to your guns. At the end of the day, it will pay off. Um, and it's funny because now that I see that, right, now that I've seen many girls will tell me up front that they'll say, oh, I do this, this, and that, or they have these rules, right, when it comes to courtship. And then you see how slowly they start to crumble under the duress of someone that they're truly attracted to because of the way you've conducted yourself, right? And I think they understand that there's little room for error with you because they understand that you are someone that takes things serious in terms of your constitution as a human being, as a man. And I think from that, there is something very attractive about a man who's willing to walk away from something or to say no. All right. And it's not like you're doing it purposely. You're not trying to scare people away. That's not the point. The point is to be yourself. And if in the process, some people have to walk away, some people have to leave, some people have to exit early, then so be it. But you have to be okay with that. And I think that's a hard lesson, a hard pill to swallow for a lot of nice guys, is they want to people please. They don't want to feel the tension, the unease of arguments, yeah, it's something that a lot of nice guys have a hard time grappling with, right? Which is rejection or discomfort of any sort. And it's something you have to, first off, get very comfortable with. You must get very comfortable with the fact that you may get into some arguments, you might get into some scuffles. Nothing violent, of course, but what I mean is, like, if you put your ideas out there and you are yourself, you're gonna ruffle some feathers. You are gonna upset some people. It is part of life. And so the quicker you understand that that is unfortunately a part of it, I think you'll won't take it so personal. The disagreements, the riffraff, the scuffles, they won't be so hard to understand. And believe me, I'm a very sensitive guy. I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and say that these things didn't bother me at one time or sometimes don't bother me. They do sometimes, but then I realize, like, this is something that comes at the cost of being who you are, of being fully yourself, and understanding that there are gonna be some fallouts to it, right? Not everyone's gonna agree with the way you are, the things you say, and that's okay. I mean, it's not something that you should be uncomfortable with. But like I said, at the end of the day, the lesson here is that if you want to be the guy girls break rules for, you must be yourself wholly, fully, and you need to figure out what that is for you. And that's not something that you're going to learn from someone else. It's going to be something that you're going to experience out in the real world, and you need to practice, and you need to figure out who it is you really are, right? Stop trying to play characters. Stop trying to run game. Don't do those things. If that's not you, that's not you. Okay, so be yourself, get out there, experience some things, put yourself out there, make some stories, have some stories, be in some stories, integrate yourself into the world. You'll have more to say. You'll learn a lot in the process. You'll make plenty of mistakes, and that's like the beauty of being a human, of being a man, right? So you get to fully experience the world. And so I think if you do those things, you'll finally get out of that bracket, right? Like I said, I've been there, all right? So I'm not knocking anyone, but I've been there. I've been the guy girls make rules for. And like I said, I would much rather be the guy girls break rules for. All right? I hope this helps.